Bit of a late recording today. I was helping out a friend earlier on. He's away at the moment, and I've mentioned in recent videos that I helped him do some watering of his seedlings, his all the different plants and things that he's planted at the allotment in the village. And there's in the film American Beauty, at the beginning of it, Carolyn gets asked what her secret to great roses is, and she said eggshells and miracle grow. And the thing is, ever since hearing that in that film, I thought, why would you put eggshells in the soil, in the ground? And it turns out it's nothing to do with actually providing nutrients to the plants. It's actually to stop slugs and snails from munching away at them and destroying all of the root structures. And so I had saved my box of eggs, the eggshells, and I said, I'll take, because my friend is away still, I'll take them down. And when I did, I noticed that both of the greenhouse doors in the allotment had been left open, so all of all of the moisture that they're supposed to contain had all completely escaped, and the plants hadn't been watered, it turns out, for about a week. So this was as I was going out on my walk, and I went for a beautiful walk around the Chatsworth estate, as I obviously often do. And on the way back, I remarked that I had closed the doors for my friend, and that the plants understandably looked really, really parched. And I said, well, the thing is, on the way back, I can go and water them, if you like. And each of the beds that he'd planted outdoors, and all the plants that he had, been cultivating with heart and soul and complete dedication, I had to water them 2 or 3 times each. And the thing is, while he's away, the reason that I recently did the watering for him every day was because his parents were on holiday. Okay, long-winded story. But it turns out that while they should have been watering them this week, they hadn't bothered. And they'd left the doors open. And as I was watering the plants, maybe it was the wrong energy for them, but honestly, they literally just drunk up all of the water the minute that I put it on. So that's why I did 2 or 3 different waterings. And the whole time that I was watering the plants, I just thought, God, honestly, the amount of work that this really nice sun that they've got, they can't even be bothered to go over and water some plants. And I am not joking. Where they live and this allotment, less than a 10-minute walk. It's a straight line walk. It's so easy. Straight line bridge and then straight line again to the allotment. And I just thought, they don't know how nice a sun they've got. They don't. I don't think they do. And I just thought, and I related later to him that, it's not my business to be saying this. But I thought, how selfish do you have to be? To not just do a favour for your own son. And I can only put it down. I was recording my video earlier, that I've been watching quite a few Neil Oliver. Can't speak to him. Jaws. Watching Neil Oliver podcasts, both of him interviewing people and being interviewed. And he talked about decision fatigue, and I don't know. I think we've kind of lost our collective minds in a way, that it kind of feels like we've stopped supporting each other so much. And it was really nice, actually, the silver lining to all of this, it was really nice to go into the allotment and to tend my friend's garden, to be able to be useful, and to really support him. And it left me feeling a little bit bereft and almost upset that his parents wouldn't go and do their job, while he's away in another part of the country working, just really, really hard, and doing it without complaint. And once I'd finished watering the plants this evening, once I've done these things, it's almost like producing a report at the end of the day. I sent him photographs having watered all of the kale and the potatoes that he's planted and the rhubarb and things. It's all looking really, really abundant. But there were a couple of beds that literally hadn't been watered at all. And I just thought, oh, and I kind of felt in a bit of a frantic hurry. I talk a lot about not hurrying, but I just thought, oh my goodness, we're going to have to do this again and again, because it's been quite hot, quite exposed, not been that much cloud in the last few days gardening. This is what happens. But it's nice to get into the thick of it and do something really meaningful. But I really wanted to support him, because I thought he's created this magical oasis, and he's created tunnels of different plants, and just so creative and inventive, and as dedicated, just so meticulous and immersed in it, wholeheartedly and complete and somatically, and I just thought, well, the truth is I get to be part of that. And it did actually feel really nice. But it didn't, I'll be honest, it did leave me feeling quite angry. And as I say, it isn't my place to judge people. I haven't even met them. But he was actually, he was really grateful, because he's nice. He's so nice, actually. And it feels like I'm planting fantastic seeds with him, of contributing to something that's really meaningful. And I think that's the way to get over this decision fatigue of trying to figure absolutely everything out. It's not possible. I think what you have to do, and I've certainly felt this, that by engaging in really meaningful and wholesome things and making the decisions quickly and easily, no faffing around, no procrastination, no trying to get it right. It's like, well, all I'm doing here, and even while I was doing it, I think, oh, is this the right way of doing it? So just give them water. You don't, when you're really thirsty, as these plants were, when you're really thirsty, you just get water in any way, and you just do it. Do you know what I mean? You don't contemplate how the water is going down. It's funny, actually. You see all different kinds of things in YouTube shorts, and I get philosophical stuff, I get art stuff, I get exercise stuff. And there was somebody who, honest to God, had done a video saying, oh, we always used to think you had to get 10,000 steps walking a day. And this particular video was telling people what intensity they had to hit and how many, and they were literally talking about walking around, all this high intensity interval training crap, saying how many sets of high intensity walking that you had to get in. And I just thought, oh, fuck off. You're now telling people how to walk properly and incorrectly. No. Simplicity. Do not allow yourself to be distracted by loads of the stuff. A new podcast of my favourite podcaster came out today, warning us about, all the dangers of electromagnetic frequencies. And I just think, what are we allowed? the list of things that we're not allowed to do or that we shouldn't do is becoming longer and longer and longer, and the amount of things that we're allowed to enjoy is getting shorter and shorter and shorter. No. Silence it out, starve it of oxygen, do as much of the stuff, do as much of the things that you love, and then with the more taxing and challenging and maybe boring things that you need to do, just hit them, just attack, just go into those, get it done, do it as swiftly and decisively as possible. And I think that's the way over this sort of collective rut that I think we all feel that we're part of. You don't have to be. Do stuff that is valuable. Do stuff that kind of gets your body moving. Do stuff that keeps the mind churning over. And the rest of it, silence it.